Welcome to our channel. Today, we will explore a fascinating and, for many, terrifying topic. Have you ever wondered what the future holds according to ancient prophecies? Did you know that Saint Malachy, a saint from the 12th century, predicted a series of shocking events about the popes of the Catholic Church, including the current one, Pope Francis? In this video, we are going to unravel the mysteries of these prophecies and discover why they still resonate in our days. What did Saint Malachy really say? And why do his words generate so much debate and controversy? Stay with us until the end of the video to know all the details and share your opinion about these revelations. Don't miss it. Who was Saint Malachy? Saint Malachy was an Irish archbishop and prophet from the 12th century, known for his astonishing visions and enigmatic prophecies about the popes of the Catholic Church. Born in 1094 in Armagh under the name Mael Medoc, from a young age, he showed deep religious devotion and a great ability for preaching and spiritual leadership. He was ordained a priest in 1119 and later became the Archbishop of Armagh, a position he held with great zeal and dedication. Saint Malachy is remembered not only for his pious life and his contribution to the reform of the Irish Church, but also for his close relationship with Saint Bernard of Clairvaux, who wrote a laudatory biography about him. Malachy was a committed reformer, known for his work reorganizing the Church in Ireland, establishing new standards of ecclesiastical discipline and strengthening monastic structures. His life was marked by holiness and dedication to the service of God, and numerous miracles are attributed to him both in life and after his death in 1148. The historical context in which Saint Malachy lived was turbulent and filled with challenges for both the Church and Irish society. During his lifetime, the Church was undergoing significant reforms aimed at combating corruption and strengthening internal discipline. In Ireland, the Church was in a process of transition, adopting stricter norms and organizing its structure more efficiently. The influence of monasticism was at its peak, and abbeys and monasteries played a crucial role in the religious and cultural life of the time. It was in this context of religious fervor and transformation that Saint Malachy had his famous visions. The most notable of his prophecies is a list of 112 short mottos that supposedly describe each of the popes from Celestine II, elected in 1143, to the current pope. These prophecies were written in Latin and are filled with symbolism and metaphors, which have led to centuries of debate and interpretation. According to tradition, Saint Malachy had a vision in which the names and characteristics of future popes were revealed to him while he was in Rome. These prophecies were discovered in 1590 and were first published by Arnold de Wyon in his book Lignum Vitae. Since then, the prophecies have been the subject of study and controversy, with some considering them an authentic divine revelation, while others see them as a forgery or mere coincidence. Saint Malachy's prophecies have captured the imagination of many people due to their apparent precision in describing the popes. Each motto is a short, enigmatic phrase that is said to reflect some aspect of the corresponding pope, whether it be their coat of arms, place of birth, family name, or significant events during their papacy. For example, the motto De Medietate Lunae, from the half of the moon, has been interpreted as a reference to Pope John Paul I, whose brief papacy of 1 month coincided with the lunar cycle. The most discussed prophecy today is the last one, associated with Pope Francis. The motto Petrus Romanus, Peter the Roman, suggests that this pope will guide the Church during a time of great tribulations, leading some to speculate about the end of times and other catastrophic events. This interpretation has sparked intense debate among theologians, historians, and believers, all trying to decipher the true meaning of Saint Malachy's words. In summary, Saint Malachy was an influential religious figure whose life and work left a lasting mark on the Catholic Church. His prophecies, especially those about the popes, remain a subject of fascination and mystery. While there is no consensus on their authenticity or accuracy, what is undeniable is the impact they have had on history and on the collective imagination of the faithful over the centuries. By exploring these prophecies, we delve not only into the legacy of a visionary saint, but also into an intriguing and enigmatic aspect of the faith and history of the Church. The Prophecies of Saint Malachy. The Prophecies of Saint Malachy are a set of cryptic mottos that describe the popes of the Catholic Church from Pope Celestine II, elected in 1143, to the current pope. These prophecies have been a subject of fascination and controversy for centuries, as they seem to predict with notable accuracy the characteristics of each pope mentioned. The complete list consists of 112 short mottos in Latin, each associated with a specific pope. It is said that Saint Malachy, an Irish archbishop from the 12th century, had a vision in which these mottos were revealed to him while in Rome. The general description of Saint Malachy's papal prophecies suggests that each motto is a symbolic description of a future pope. For example, the motto Ex Castro Tiberis, from the castle of the Tiber, has been interpreted as a reference to Pope Celestine II, whose birthplace, Città di Castello, is near the Tiber River. Similarly, the motto Pastor et Nauta, shepherd and sailor, is associated with Pope John XXIII, who, before becoming pope, was the Patriarch of Venice, a city famous for its canals and navigation. The mechanism of interpreting these prophecies has been the subject of intense debate and analysis. Each motto is a brief, enigmatic phrase that can be interpreted in various ways. Experts and enthusiasts of the prophecies take various approaches to decipher their meaning. 1. Personal characteristics of the Pope. Some mottos are interpreted as a direct reference to the Pope's birth name, family, or place of origin. For example, Lumen in Coelo, light in the sky, has been interpreted as a reference to the coat of arms of Leo XIII, which features a star. 2. Events of the papacy. Other mottos seem to refer to significant events that occurred during a pope's pontificate. For example, De Labore Solis, from the work of the sun, has been associated with Pope John Paul II, who was born during a solar eclipse and was buried during another eclipse. 3. Metaphorical symbolism. Some mottos are more abstract and are interpreted through metaphors or symbols. For example, Flos Florum, flower of flowers, is related to Pope Paul VI, whose coat of arms included a flower, a traditional symbol of purity and royalty. 4. Historical and cultural significance. The historical and cultural context of the Pope's time can also influence the interpretation of the motto. This includes considerations of the political and social conditions of the Church and the world in general during the corresponding papacy. One of the most controversial prophecies is the last one on the list, associated with Pope Francis. The motto, Petrus Romanus, Peter the Roman, has raised much speculation. According to the prophecy, during the pontificate of Peter the Roman, the Church will face great tribulations, culminating in the destruction of the city of Rome and the final judgment. This grim prediction has led many to consider that Pope Francis might be the last pope before the end of times. Although this interpretation is widely debated, critics and skeptics argue that Saint Malachy's prophecies could be a forgery, possibly created in the 16th century to influence the papal election of that time. They point out that the mottos before the discovery date of the prophecies seem more precise and easier to interpret, while those afterward are vaguer and more ambiguous. However, defenders of the authenticity of the prophecies believe that their accuracy is too remarkable to be mere coincidence or invention. In summary, Saint Malachy's prophecies about the popes are an intriguing and enigmatic legacy that has captured the imagination of the faithful and scholars for centuries. While the true origin and meaning of these mottos remain a subject of debate, their impact on the history and faith of the Catholic Church is undeniable. These prophecies invite us to reflect on the mystery of fate and the nature of divine revelation, leaving an indelible mark on religious tradition and the interpretation of historical events. The prophecy about Pope Francis. The prophecy about Pope Francis, according to Saint Malachy's visions, is encapsulated in the motto Petrus Romanus, or Peter the Roman. This motto is the last in the list of 112 cryptic mottos describing the popes and suggests that Pope Francis could be the last pope before a period of great tribulations for the Catholic Church. This specific detail has generated considerable speculation and debate among scholars, theologians, and believers. According to the traditional interpretation of Saint Malachy's prophecies, Petrus Romanus translates as Peter the Roman. The full text associated with this motto says, "In the final persecution of the Holy Roman Church, Peter the Roman will reign, who will shepherd his sheep amidst many tribulations. When these things are finished, the city of 7 hills will be destroyed, and the terrible judge will judge his people." The end. This ominous passage suggests a time of severe difficulties and tribulations for the Church under the leadership of Peter the Roman. Some interpreters see this as a reference to Pope Francis, as his birth name is Jorge Mario Bergoglio, and some argue that his second name, Mario, may be seen as a connection to Peter due to St. Peter's importance in Christian tradition. The interpretation of Petrus Romanus and its connection to Pope Francis has been a topic of intense debate and analysis. Below are some of the most common interpretations and theories. 1. Nominal and symbolic relationship. Some scholars have tried to link Pope Francis's name and actions with Peter the Roman. Although Francis does not bear the name Peter, his role as the leader of the Church and his effort to return to the roots of the Christian faith are considered symbolic of St. Peter, the first pope. The choice of the name Francis also suggests a return to values of humility and service. 2. Current tribulations and crises. The prophecy speaks of many tribulations, and interpreters often relate this to the challenges the Church has faced during Francis's papacy, including abuse scandals, internal divisions, and socio-political issues. The growing secularization in various parts of the world and humanitarian crises are also seen as part of these tribulations. 3. Destruction of Rome. The prophecy mentions the destruction of the city of 7 hills, generally interpreted as Rome. Some believe this could be symbolic, referring to a spiritual or moral crisis within the Church, rather than physical destruction. Others, however, take the prediction literally and speculate about possible catastrophes. 4. Final judgment. The passage ends with a reference to the terrible judge who will judge the people. This image is seen by some as an allusion to the final judgment, suggesting that Francis's papacy might coincide with apocalyptic events. However, many theologians warn against taking these predictions literally, suggesting instead that they should be seen as warnings for spiritual renewal and moral preparation. 5. Criticism and skepticism. Not everyone accepts the authenticity or relevance of Saint Malachy's prophecies. Some historians and scholars argue that the prophecies could have been forged in the 16th century to influence the papal conclave. They point out that the descriptions of the popes up until the discovery of the prophecies are more precise and easier to interpret than the later ones. In conclusion, the prophecy about Pope Francis as Peter the Roman remains a topic of considerable speculation and debate. While some see this prophecy as a warning and divine guidance, others view it as a historical curiosity with no real foundation. Regardless of its interpretation, Saint Malachy's prophecies have left an indelible mark on history and the collective imagination, inviting believers to reflect on the future of the Church and the role of faith in times of uncertainty. Impact and reactions. The impact of Saint Malachy's prophecies, especially the one referring to Pope Francis as Peter the Roman, has been profound and varied. The reactions within the religious community, the opinions of experts and theologians, and the influence on the faith and politics of the Vatican reflect a wide range of perspectives and sentiments. In the religious community, Saint Malachy's prophecies have generated both fascination and concern. Many believers see in these prophecies a confirmation of the mystical and prophetic nature of the Catholic faith. For some, Saint Malachy's predictions serve as a warning and a call to spiritual reflection. They believe that identifying Pope Francis as Peter the Roman suggests that the Church is entering a period of trial and tribulation, which motivates them to strengthen their faith and religious commitment. On the other hand, some members of the religious community regard these prophecies with skepticism. They argue that the predictions are too vague and open to interpretation, which diminishes their credibility. Furthermore, they point out that many religious prophecies have been misinterpreted or used to cause unnecessary alarm. These believers prefer to focus on Pope Francis' teachings and actions rather than ancient predictions. Experts and theologians have offered various interpretations and analyses of Saint Malachy's prophecies. Some scholars defend the authenticity of the prophecies, arguing that their accuracy in describing previous popes is too remarkable to be a coincidence. These experts suggest that the prophecies may be divine guidance to understand the future challenges of the Church. However, many theologians and scholars are skeptical about the authenticity of the prophecies. They note that the prophecies were discovered and published for the first time in the 16th century, nearly 400 years after Saint Malachy's death. This has led to the theory that the prophecies could have been a later creation, possibly with the aim of influencing the papal election of the time. Moreover, critics highlight that the mottos are often so cryptic that they can be adapted to fit almost any pope, reducing their predictive value. The influence of Saint Malachy's prophecies on the faith and politics of the Vatican is complex. For some in the Vatican, the prophecies are seen as an interesting but non-essential part of religious tradition. They do not play a significant role in official decision-making or church doctrine. The Vatican's official stance on these prophecies is generally one of caution, and they are rarely mentioned in official documents or speeches. Nevertheless, the prophecies have had a subtler impact on the public perception of the papacy and internal Vatican politics. The idea that Pope Francis could be the last pope has been used by some groups as a tool to promote specific agendas, whether to urge greater reform within the Church or to resist certain changes. This apocalyptic narrative can influence how the faithful perceive the Pope's actions and decisions, adding a layer of urgency and drama to his pontificate. Furthermore, the prophecies have been exploited by some media outlets and authors to create sensationalism and sell books, articles, and documentaries. This commercial approach often exaggerates the implications of the prophecies, which can lead to misunderstandings and a distorted perception of reality. In conclusion, Saint Malachy's prophecies about Pope Francis have had a significant impact on various aspects of the religious community and beyond. Reactions range from devout acceptance to critical skepticism, and the opinions of experts and theologians reflect this diversity. While the direct influence of the prophecies on Vatican politics may be limited, their presence in public and religious discourse continues to be a topic of interest and debate. These prophecies, whether seen as a divine warning or a historical curiosity, continue to capture the imagination and interest of many around the world. Personal reflection. Saint Malachy's prophecies have been a topic of great interest and debate over the centuries, especially within the Catholic community. For believers, these prophecies can have varied and deep meanings depending on how they are interpreted and the context in which they are applied. For many believers, Saint Malachy's prophecies represent a tangible connection to the mystical and prophetic dimension of their faith. The idea that a saint from the 12th century could accurately foresee the succession of the popes provides a sense of wonder and awe. These prophecies can be seen as a confirmation of divine providence, suggesting that God has a meticulous plan for the Church and its leaders. Additionally, the prophecies can serve as a call to spiritual preparation and renewal of faith. The possible identification of Pope Francis as Peter the Roman, the last pope on St. Malachy's list, can be interpreted as a warning of difficult times ahead. This can inspire believers to strengthen their faith, practice charity, and be more attentive to their religious duties in an increasingly secular world. For others, Saint Malachy's prophecies are a source of hope. The belief that the Church will survive through tribulations and emerge stronger can provide comfort and motivation. Faced with global crises, internal conflicts, and scandals, believers can find in these prophecies a promise of resilience and renewal. Interpreting Saint Malachy's prophecies in the modern context requires a combination of faith, discernment, and prudence. In a world marked by scientific advances, skepticism, and unprecedented access to information, the prophecies must be approached with a balance between devotion and reason. First, it is important to consider the authenticity and origin of the prophecies. While many faithful believe in their veracity, scholars have debated their authenticity, suggesting that they may have been created or modified in the 16th century to influence the papal election. This perspective invites believers to examine the prophecies with a critical eye and not take each motto literally. Second, the prophecies should be viewed within a broader framework of faith and doctrine. The Catholic Church teaches that while private revelations may be inspiring, they are not necessary for salvation nor part of the deposit of faith. Therefore, while Saint Malachy's prophecies may be interesting and valuable for personal reflection, they should not replace the fundamental teachings of the Church nor divert the faithful from their daily religious practice. Additionally, in the modern context, it is crucial to interpret the prophecies with prudence and avoid falling into sensationalism or alarmism. In an era where news and information spread rapidly, extreme or misinformed interpretations can cause confusion and fear. Religious leaders and the faithful must promote a balanced and measured understanding of the prophecies, emphasizing their spiritual value rather than their apocalyptic literalness. Finally, Saint Malachy's prophecies can be seen as an opportunity for dialogue and unity within the Church. In times of division and conflict, reflecting on these prophecies can inspire believers to seek peace and cohesion. The idea that the Church can face and overcome great tribulations can be a source of inspiration to work together in the common mission of faith. In conclusion, Saint Malachy's prophecies have profound meaning for many believers, offering them a connection to the mystery of faith and a call to spiritual preparation. When interpreting them in the modern context, it is essential to balance devotion with critical discernment and focus on their spiritual value without falling into sensationalism. These prophecies, though shrouded in mystery, continue to be a source of reflection and motivation for the faithful, reminding them of the importance of faith and resilience in a changing world. If you found this video interesting, don't miss our next one. Last warning: Father Pio's revelations about the 3 days of darkness. Discover the prophecies that have impacted the entire world. Click now and stay informed about what might be coming. See you there.